Shemai, I'm going to talk about some essentials you really do need to know if you're a beginner bass player. Now, I've been a bass player and teacher for many decades. I now play these mini basses, but what I'm going to tell you in this video can help you on your regular bass guitars as well. So I'm going to be covering some real basics that you need to know practically to play the bass, but also a little bit of theory as well, which is really going to help you. Okay, first tip, don't give up before you really start. I used to have a brilliant poster in my classroom. Don't decide that you can't before you discover that you can. It's a new skill, playing a musical instrument, even if you've played a long time ago maybe, okay, and a different instrument. Your right hand, your left hand, they're doing different things. You're reading, you're listening, okay? Don't give yourself a hard time. Give yourself space to learn a new skill. Next thing, make playing and practicing as easy as possible. Have your instrument out if at all possible. Have it so it's ready to plug into an amp if you need to. But I can guarantee if your instrument is stuck in a case behind a load of things, all right, by the time you get it out, you've almost given up, all right? Just make sure it's as easy as possible to just pick up and play. This is what I use, little fold-up stand. It's adjustable, so this will fit a little mini bass even without the symmetrical bottom on it. And this will fit a big bass guitar as well, okay? Just try and make sure your instrument is accessible as possible and ready to plug in whenever you can. Because remember, the more you play or practice, the better you're going to get. Learn how to tune your bass. You might get a little clip-on tuner, pop it on the instrument like that. You might use a tuning pedal or an app on your phone, or even tune by ear. I have done a video on how to tune your bass, okay? I will pop a link in the description below, but it is essential that you tune your instrument regularly. I quite often have a student in a lesson going, oh, I tuned it last week. Tune it every time you play it. Most basses need to be plugged into an amp. Use a bass amp, okay? And make sure that amp is switched off when you plug in your instrument in or out, or at least use a mute button on it. Again, I've done loads of videos on bass amps. Right, my bass is in tune. Open strings next. It's okay to use them. I know that there are teachers out there who really don't want you using open strings, all right? But for me, 4 free notes. Learn the names to start with. Either go from the top, we'll talk about that in a second, but from the highest pitch, G, D, A, E. Great Danes are enormous. If you want to go the other way round, E, A, D, G, evil, ants, dig, graves. I really don't care how you remember them, all right? But learn your open strings. 4 free notes. If you hear high and low, it means pitch on a musical instrument, okay? So if we're looking at the strings, G, even though it's the furthest down towards the floor, G is the highest pitch, E is the lowest pitch. And if we're talking about the fretboard, okay, D or E would be the lowest pitch, highest pitch, okay? High and low is pitch. So you've just heard me saying some letters, G, D, A and E, our open strings. Music really is only made up of 2 things. The letters, in other words the notes, and numbers for our counting. So for the notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then we go back to A again. So there's only 7 different notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all right? And if we look, we've got a G, we've got a D, we've got an A, and we've got an E there. That only leaves learning a couple of other notes on your bass before you've got the full set, okay? So just remember, it's not that difficult. if you sort of split it up into the smaller things like letters, the notes, and then numbers, the counting. So the first sort of numbers I'm going to talk about, let's just say A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, and so on. So if I'm talking about 1 and 5, for example, and 1 is a C, C, D, E, F, G, all right? This will make a little bit more sense in a second, all right? But it is very straightforward and logical. Right, so in terms of playing the bass, and you've just been given a chord chart, and you see a letter C, that means you're going to play a C on your bass. I'm not going to worry about where these are, but there's a C. If you then see an F, you just play an F, or an F that it doesn't matter. But what happens when you see a G7? Don't panic, just play a G, okay? The number to start with for beginner bass players, ignore it. All right, you will use them later on if you're adding more to a bass line, but to start with, if you see a G7, just play a G. If you see an A followed by a little M, that's talking about minor, A minor. Again, ignore that little letter and just play the A. That's really important, and it's actually really useful to know if you're following a chord chart or a lyric chart. G7, play a G. A, M, play an A, okay? Okay, so going to the numbers now, you do need to count. Most songs that you are going to play are going to have 4 beats in a bar. I've done a video on how to count and note values, all right? I'm going to pop all the links in the description below, okay? And again, it is very logical, and when you actually look at note values and things, it's really helpful, but you really do need to know about your counting. So generally, it is going to be 4 beats in a bar or 4 beats in a measure. In other words, you are always counting to 4. It's not always that case. There are pieces of music that might be in 3, or even other weird and wonderful time signatures. Don't worry about those for now, okay? But generally, try and count 4. And if 4 isn't working, we'll try counting 3. That might help. Counting in a piece of music or a song, really important, okay? It could be somebody else's counting in. Listen to that counting, because that is supposed to give you the tempo or the speed of the song, if they're doing it properly, okay? But it's really, really important. A counting, that should be the speed you're going to play it at, but get used to listening to the tempos or the speeds of songs that you play. And it could be that one day you're going to be the person doing the counting, so practice it. Okay, so what do a lot of people follow? It could be a chord chart, it could be a piece of music with notes written down in front of it, or it could be something called tab. Yeah, there's an example of tab there now. Okay, so reading tab to start with, lines and numbers. 4 lines indicating your 4 strings. If you look at your bass from the top, what you're going to notice is that our highest pitched string, our G, is the top line on your tab. Then the numbers indicate which fret. So if it's top line, number 1, that would just be 1st fret. If it is top line number 5, it would be 5th fret. If it is 3rd line down, 1, 2, 3, that's our A string, and then the number is telling us what fret. The numbers are not your fingers. And one of the biggest issues with tab, very often it doesn't tell you anything about the rhythm, okay? So yeah, tab is great if you already know the song, not so great if you don't know the song and you don't know the rhythm. You might be given a lyric sheet, which has just got chords on it. As I said a moment ago, look at the letters. Ignore anything like numbers, ignore little letters to start with. Just look for the main letters and then play those on your bass. Okay, reading musical notation. I'm a classically trained musician, and I've always taught how to read music wherever possible, and even just a very, very basic look at some of the notation is going to really help you playing. I've done a whole course on how to read music on your bass, and I've done a video on how to read bass clef music in a theory sense as well, okay? It is not going to harm your playing, learning how to read music. And yeah, I totally agree. There are many great players who don't learn to read music, but it's not going to harm your playing, and it is going to help you playing in the long run, even if it is just some basic notation. Keep it simple. This is probably the mistake I see beginner bass players making the most, trying to put too many notes in and it doesn't sound good, okay? We were talking about the numbers and the letters earlier on. Let's just say we're in the key of C. In other words, C is our root note. Stick with a lot of C's and play fifths. So C, D, E, F, G, okay? If you see a C, you're going to be playing C and G. I've done loads of videos on this already. I've talked about in how to build bass lines, okay? But my overall essential advice for this is keep it simple. Don't play too much. Okay, so most of the things we've talked about so far have been things you've got to think about or theory-based. A couple of little practical things now. Technique. Again, I've done videos on right and left hand technique. Right hand technique, try and use 2 fingers if possible, because it's going to be easier for you in the long run. But more importantly, pull the strings across. When I'm plucking, I'm going across. I'm not plucking away, okay? It doesn't sound very nice and you lose a lot of the sound, the tone from it, okay? So when you're plucking, you pluck across, and ideally using 2 fingers. Left hand technique. Now then, this is where a lot of bass teachers have different opinions. I have taught very young children right the way up to much, much older adults, okay? And so when it comes to left hand technique, I really say you have to go with whatever works for you best. It's going to depend on the size of your instrument. It is going to depend on your age, on your hand size and your hand strength. Okay, there are things that I will try and insist my students do, but it really is what you can manage. I am not one of these teachers who insists that you do a finger per fret, and definitely not on a full-scale instrument. I've never been able to, and I played double bass for decades. My hands are just not big enough. So my left-hand technique advice is do what suits you best. Yes, there are logical things that are going to help. For example, your pinky is a very weak finger. So I would never press just my pinky down. I would have all my fingers. But I do a lot more moving around than somebody who's got huge hands and can manage to do separate frets. So when it comes to left-hand technique, and I talk about this in lessons, I talk about it in lots of videos and things, do what suits you best, but try and do it to make it as easy as possible for yourself. And above all else, relax when you're playing. This is something that people don't often think about right at the very start, but if you think about this as you start to play, it really helps. When you play the bass, you can get notes ringing on, and it gets really annoying, okay? Try and stop notes ringing wherever possible, but that is something you can work on as you get better. But if it's in mind when you start, it's something you're going to think about, is try and stop notes ringing. So I think that covers nearly everything that I think is essential for a beginner bass player to know. And as I said, I've got this from people asking questions, but more importantly from watching my own students over many, many years. I think probably the best advice I can give you as a teacher is do what works best for you. I did mention it when I was talking about left-hand techniques, okay? As you get older, you're going to do things differently. If you're younger, you might not understand certain things or understand the logic behind certain things. Now, I do hear other bass players, and they obviously teach very different to the way I do. They may not agree with the things I say, I may not agree with the things they say, but what you've got to remember is, hopefully anyway, your teacher has got experience and they're trying to make it as easy as possible. I'm forever saying in lessons, I come from a logical approach. Having started off on a huge double bass, I had to be logical to be able to get around it. And I've always taught in a logical way. So it might not work for everybody, but what I try and tell my students, it's there to make it easier for them. And I'm certainly not a teacher who says, you're doing that wrong, you need to change it. Because it could be the only way that works for you. So if you don't get on with a particular teacher, especially if you're watching somebody on YouTube, have a look around for somebody else, because you may find somebody who's teaching in the way that is going to be the best for you to learn. Something I often say to my students, and sometimes it does take them by surprise, film yourself when you're playing and practicing, okay? Just chuck your phone up. You'd be surprised. As a teacher, what I'm doing during a lesson is obviously I am listening, but more often than not, I am watching somebody's hands as well. And if a note doesn't sound, you got that horrible buzz, all right? Normally, you can see why. So if you film yourself, you can then go over and have a little look and understand why something didn't work, or even better, why something did work. But yeah, it's so easy these days just to film yourself, not for anybody else, just for you. Yes, I know there was a lot of information in there, and you probably knew most of it, but maybe you've picked up one or two little essential tips as a beginner bass player. Most importantly though, have fun, don't stress too much, and just enjoy being the cool bass player. If you have found this video helpful and would like to support me here on the channel, I have got a Patreon site. I'll pop a link in the description below for that. As always though, if you've got any comments or questions, please feel free, leave them below, give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.